artistic merit, historical importance, and symbolic power. Rarely does a medal unite in its core all of these characteristics, and even rarely does a medal succeed in capturing and expressing the true spirit of its time. But when it does, as it is the case here, a medal becomes a real masterpiece. It was crafted in Leipzig, Germany, in 1544 for Maurice, Duke of Saxony, by the renowned medallist Hans Reinhart the Elder. Its impressive and majestic obverse iconography has given it its name, the Trinity Medal. And without any contest, this medal is considered the greatest masterpiece of German Renaissance medallic art. But for us, this medal is more than an artistic masterpiece. It is also an impressive and touching testimony, cast in silver, of a desperate attempt to prevent a major disaster, the brutal splitting of the Christian faith, which would for centuries almost decimate the Holy Roman Empire. On the obverse, you can see the representation of the Trinity, known in German as the Gnadenstuhl. God the Father is seated on a richly ornamented throne, holding orb and scepter. Before him, the crucifix surmounted by the dove of the Holy Spirit. Angels and cherubs are surrounding the throne. On the reverse, two standing angels hold a large tablet bearing the famous Athanasian Creed as a long inscription. What's really incredible is that this specimen is one of only 15 specimens thought to have survived the passing of time, of which 10 are located in museums. In other words, and to the best of our knowledge, the remaining specimen available on the market, this one included, can be counted on just one hand. The prestige of the institution that have the chance to own such a masterpiece illustrate the importance of the Trinity Medal. Among them are the famous German coin cabinets of Berlin, Dresden, Gotha, Munich and Weimar, not to mention the coin cabinet of Vienna, the American Numismatic Society in New York, and the British Museum in London. As we have already mentioned, this medal was produced in 1544 in Leipzig, Germany, for Maurice, Duke of Saxony, during a time when this part of the Holy Roman Empire was shaken by a deep religious questioning. Almost 30 years earlier, on the 31st of October 1517, Martin Luther had nailed its famous 95 Theses on the doors of the All Saints Church in the nearby city of Wittenberg, marking, by doing so, the beginning of the splitting of the Christian faith. Maurice of Saxony had not been spared by this questioning, as he soon found himself split between the old and the new faith. On a personal aspect, he had recently converted to the new faith, along his father, while having been raised as a Catholic. As the ruler of Saxony, he was torn between his will to remain loyal to Charles V, the Catholic Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, and his support of the newly founded Schmalkaldic League, a military alliance created to defend the rights of the Protestants. What makes this medal so exceptional is that it was crafted to become a very high-value diplomatic present that would use the power of beauty and art in a desperate attempt to safeguard peace and prevent one of the first religious wars between Protestant and Catholics in Central Europe, by reminding Both parties, Catholics and Protestants, of their common belief in the Trinity and the Athanasian Creed, its intention was to plead for the unity of Christendom. This medal is also a true masterpiece of medallic art, being the largest German Renaissance silver medal ever crafted. Here, Hans Reinhart the Elder has realized his opus magnus. Not only had he mastered the typical high relief for which German Renaissance medals are commonly known, he went even one unconventional step further, making this medal a real tour de force. By soldering miniature three-dimensional sculptures onto the medal, like God the Father's beard, the crucifix, or the dove of the Holy Spirit, a technique used for the first time ever by a medallist, he succeeded in excelling medallic art, making the Trinity Medal an almost three-dimensional sculpture. When we look at the beautiful way Reinhart has represented the Trinity on its medal, another famous artist of the time comes to mind, Lucas Cranach the Elder. Considered as one of the most, if not the most important painters of its time, Cranach the Elder was not only a real inspiration to Reinhart, but also one of his acquaintances. And it is not impossible to imagine that Cranach might even have been somehow involved in the conception of this medal. Its painting of the Holy Trinity, now at the Museum of Fine Arts in Leipzig, Germany, perfectly illustrates this idea. There you can see, as on the Trinity Medal, God the Father with a flourishing beard, wearing richly ornamented clothes and a crown, as well as the Christ, the Holy Spirit, and winged cherubs' heads in the sky. Although inspired by Lucas Cranach, Hans Reinhart has nevertheless made the Trinity Medal its own masterpiece. While numerous iconographical elements used by the artist on this medal can directly be linked to the Renaissance, like the typical decoration of the throne and the symmetrical disposition of the scene, the richness and splendor of the attributes of God the Father, and the general impression of opulence almost place it at the forefront of the coming mannerism or early Baroque art, making the Trinity Medal an important milestone in the thrilling history of medallic art. What's also fascinating is that the history of this medal as a collectible item can be traced back more than 200 years, and it comes as no surprise that it reveals an exceptional and prestigious history of ownership. It was once part of the collection of Dr. August Maurice Engelhardt, a famous legal consultant and notary in Dresden, Germany, court councillor and chief financial officer for Princess Amelie of Saxony. Sold on the 29th of October 1888 in a Julius and Albert Erbstein's auction in Dresden, this medal was the highlight of this very complete and impressive sale. Its fortunate buyer was Privy Councillor Hermann Vogel, a large industrialist in Chemnitz, Germany. He spent not less than 2,500 gold mark, representing almost 900 grams of fine gold, to become the new owner of this very piece. The medal, alongside its collection, described at the time as the most important collection of artistic medals in Germany and even in Europe, was then sold on the 4th of November 1924, 6 years after the death of Hermann Vogel, in an impressive Leo Hamburger auction in Frankfurt am Main. Finally, as one further testimony of the importance of this very specimen, comes the fact that it had been illustrated in the most important catalogue raisonné about German Renaissance medals ever produced. The large and beautifully illustrated work of Georg Habisch, Die deutschen Schaumünzen des 16. Jahrhunderts, published in 4 volumes between 1929 and 1934, and presenting more than 334 plates of German Renaissance medals. Having been chosen by Habisch himself with the purpose to illustrate the greatest masterpiece of German Renaissance medallic art in his publication, confirms the exceptional characteristics of this medal. This medal, along other masterpieces of medallic art, is part of a beautiful collection of French, Italian, and German Renaissance medals that will be offered for sale in our coming Lugdunum Auction 24, taking place in December 2024.